This is just a wire. We are looking straight down its length, so the current would run into the screen. Right now it's switched off, and the space around it is utterly quiet. Sprinkle iron filings around it, and they fall in a careless jumble. Nothing to see. But the instant the current flows, watch. Every filing wheels around and lines up into rings. The wire has dressed itself in perfect circles of magnetism. A current makes a magnetic field. In this video we'll learn to compute exactly how much and exactly which way for a wire, a loop, a coil, any shape at all. Magnetic fields due to currents. We'll build every field two ways, the careful way and the clever way, and learn when to reach for each. Here's the whole idea in one line. A charge sitting still makes only an electric field, spraying straight outward. But set that charge moving, a current, and a magnetic field appears as well, wrapping around the motion in circles. That's the source of all magnetism. To compute it we have two tools. Biot-Savart, which honestly adds up the field of every tiny piece of current. And Ampere's law, which, when the geometry is kind, hands you the answer almost for free. It's Coulomb versus Gauss, all over again. Start with the careful tool. Take any wire carrying a current I, and chop it into infinitesimal segments. Focus on one element, IDS, and ask for the field it makes at some point P, a distance r away in the direction r hat. The Biot-Savart law gives it ds cross r hat. That cross product is the key. The field doesn't point along the wire or toward P, but straight out of the page on one side and into it on the other. The field curls around the current. There's the law. And notice the 1 over r squared fall off, the very same as Coulomb. The constant mu0, 4 pi times 10 to the minus 7, plays the role for magnetism that epsilon naught plays for electricity. Now integrate Biot-Savart along a whole long, straight wire. Every element pushes the field the same way around, so they simply add. And the messy integral collapses to something beautifully simple. The field lines are perfect circles, centered on the wire. B equals mu0 I over 2 pi r. It grows with the current and fades as 1 over the distance, a gentler fall-off than a point charge's inverse square. But here's a reality check. Even a hefty 100 amps, 10 centimeters out, makes only twice the Earth's field. A lone wire is a feeble magnet. The road to a strong field isn't more current, it's more turns. Bend a stretch of wire into an arc of radius r, sweeping an angle phi, with straight leads running into the center. What's the field right at that center? The straight leads point right at the center, so their cross product vanishes, they contribute nothing. Only the curved part matters, and every bit of it sits the same distance r away. So the field is mu0 I phi over 4 pi r, just the fraction of a full turn that the arc covers. Close it into a complete loop, set phi to 2 pi, and you get mu0 I over 2r at the center of a single ring. Here's a lovely consequence. Two parallel wires, each carrying a current upward. Each one bathes the other in its own magnetic field. Sitting in each other's field, they feel a force. Run the right-hand rule twice, and you find the surprise, currents in the same direction pull together. They attract. The force per length is mu0 Ia Ib over 2 pi d, flip one current, and the wires repel instead. This very force once defined the Ampere itself. Adding up every element is honest but slow. When the field has symmetry, Ampere's law does it in one line. It's the magnetic twin of Gauss' law. The field summed around any closed loop equals mu naught times the current threading it. Take the straight wire again. Choose a circular loop centered on it. By symmetry, the field has the same strength all the way around and points neatly along the loop at every step. So the integral is just b times the circumference. Set that equal to mu naught I, solve, and out drops the wire's field again with no integral at all. Same physics as Biot-Savart, packaged for symmetry. Ampere's law can do something Biot-Savart finds painful, peer inside the wire where the current is spread across the whole cross-section. A loop drawn inside encloses only the current it surrounds, and that grows as r squared. So as you move out from the axis, the field climbs straight up, linearly. It peaks right at the surface, then once outside, falls away as 1 over r, exactly the formula we already had. The two curves meet smoothly at the edge, a clean, fully solvable profile. Now the payoff for stacking. A solenoid is a long helix of wire, current coming toward us across the top, away from us across the bottom. Between the rows, all those circular fields reinforce into one strong, perfectly straight field outside. They cancel to almost nothing. Inside the tube, the field is uniform. And the field is simply mu naught, n, I turns per meter, times current. It doesn't depend on the diameter, or on where inside you stand. This is the magnetic version of the parallel plate capacitor, a clean box of uniform field. Bend that solenoid around into a donut and join the ends a toroid. Now the field has nowhere to leak out to. The field circles around inside the ring, trapped between the windings, and is essentially zero both in the hole and everywhere outside. Toroids are prized for exactly this. They keep their field locked in. Its field is mu naught Ni over 2 pi r, with n the total number of turns. Unlike the solenoid, it isn't uniform. It tapers as 1 over r across the bore. One last unification, and it's a beautiful one. Back in chapter 28, a current loop placed in a field felt a torque. It behaved like a magnetic dipole with a moment mu. But the loop doesn't just respond to a field, it makes one. Far out along its axis, it produces a dipole field of its own, the exact magnetic twin of an electric dipole. On the axis the field is this, and far away it simplifies to mu naught over 2 pi times mu over z cubed. The same 1 over z cubed signature as the electric dipole. So the loop both feels a field and makes one, two faces of a single object. Loop, coil, bar magnet, spinning electron, planet Earth, every magnetic dipole reads this same physics in two directions. Why master all this? Because shaping currents is how we build the fields the modern world runs on. A solenoid with an iron core becomes an electromagnet strong enough to lift a car, and you can switch it off to drop the load. An MRI scanner is a superconducting solenoid wrapping you in a field tens of thousands of times the Earth's, uniform, by design, just as the formula promised. And in a power station, the parallel current force is real and large. Fault currents can wrench heavy busbars together, so switchgear is braced against the very force we just derived. So, fields from currents, on 5 cards. Biot-Savart builds any field from its pieces. From it falls the straight wire and the force between parallel currents. Ampere's law gives the same answers by symmetry and hands us the solenoid's clean, uniform field. The one habit to carry away: choose your tool before you compute. High symmetry: a straight wire, a solenoid, a toroid calls for Ampere. Everything else, an arc or an off-axis point, calls for Biot-Savart. We've now seen a current make a field. Next time we close the great circle, a changing magnetic field makes a current. Chapter 30, Induction. If this made it click, subscribe, and I'll see you there.